a lot of Deontay Wilder fans, and even people who aren't necessarily fans of his, but they rate him as a fighter, they are more confident, it seems, in Deontay Wilder's ability than Wilder's team are. And this is something you often see in boxing, where fans of a fighter will have more confidence in the fighter than the fighter themselves, their team, etc. This is very common. And the proof is in the pudding. You see through the fighter's actions that they're not as on it in terms of taking on all comers as their fans are. So I say that with relation to Deontay Wilder here, because of course, during Wilder's reign as WBC champion, he was a protected fighter. That's undeniable. And even since losing his WBC belt, he's had the comeback against Robert Helenius, a sparring partner of his. And now it seems like his team only want to put him in the very biggest, highest earning fights. They're not interested in him working his way up to a title. They want to jump the queue, clearly, all right, to mega money fights. Not necessarily world title fights, because he's obviously looking at the Anthony Joshua fight finally, after turning down the Anthony Joshua fight numerous times in the past, including an offer of over $100 million made to him directly by DAZN. Finally, Wilder's team are looking at the AJ fight, maybe because AJ's lost a few times now. Now it's interesting to them because there's still a lot of money to be made there. But when it comes to Andy Ruiz, you've got all these people saying that Wilder knocks Ruiz out easy, cleans him out in a couple rounds. That's literally what most people seem to be saying. How come Wilder and his team don't seem that keen on the fight then? I think that this shows that Shelly Finkel, Malik Scott, despite what Malik Scott has said to the contrary, I think they see the Andy Ruiz fight as being far more dangerous than most boxing fans out there. That's not to say that they don't think Wilder can beat Ruiz, but understand that managers don't think like fanboys. Yeah, a manager like Shelly Finkel isn't thinking, oh, Deontay destroys Ruiz. No, managers always have to, and promoters the same, they always have to think about worst case scenarios. Always. This is your job as a man. Well, what if it all goes wrong? What then? That's why they insert rematch clauses in contracts and all this kind of thing. Managers don't think like fighters, right? Where they're all gung-ho and, yeah, we'll put him in with anyone. Generally, they don't do that unless they have an undefeated fighter who they think is invincible, excuse me, which is rare. They tend to be more concerned about, worst case scenarios than the fighter themselves or the fans. So I'm sure that Shelly Finkel looks at the Ruiz fight and he doesn't like the risk reward. That's the vibe I'm getting here. Because again, you look at the headline of this article. Deontay Wilder's next fight will be against Andy Ruiz or a mystery opponent. Excuse me. After Anthony Joshua's team decide to have a separate comeback bout, trainer Malik Scott reveals. Well, Deontay Wilder didn't go straight into a tough fight, did he? After losing back-to-back fights against Tyson Fury. He came back with a soft touch in Robert Helenius. So obviously Anthony Joshua was going to do the same thing. He's going to come back against a soft touch. Or he should be coming back against a soft touch. So, that's understandable, AJ not being on, and he's not on the Wilder fight right now. So that's understandable. But Deontay Wilder has been mandated to fight Andy, well, he hasn't been mandated, but there's been a fight ordered between him and Andy Ruiz as a WBC final eliminator, okay? Deontay Wilder, of course, doesn't have to take it. He's not a champion, so he doesn't have mandatories or anything like that. He's number one contender. But that right there shows me the fact that he's considering other opponents, a mystery opponent. He's not going to get the AJ fight right now. Usyk is going to be tied up, whether he fights Fury or one of his mandatories. Fury, well, Wilder doesn't want that smoke again, not right now. So who on earth could the mystery opponent be for Deontay Wilder? Is it someone that Al Heyman wants to maybe have a passing of the torch fight against potentially. Is Al Heyman thinking of putting Frank Sanchez in there against Deontay Wilder to see if Sanchez is up to the task? And then if Sanchez can take Wilder's scalp, then let Sanchez loose on the top guys in the division. Is that a potential thing that might happen? All I know is that from what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem like they're keen on this Andy Ruiz fight. I mean, Malik Scott said previously that he's not keen on the Ruiz fight. Obviously, he puts a spin on it and says, I don't think Ruiz is any challenge for Wilder. Yeah, of course they're going to say that. If you don't think he's a challenge for Wilder, why not take the fight? The Andy Ruiz fight pays more money for Deontay Wilder than most other fights out there. It's not going to pay him as much as a Usyk or a Joshua or a Tyson Fury even again. No, those fights are going to pay more, but it's still going to pay more than, let's say, Luis Ortiz. It's going to pay more than, God, who else is out there? It'll pay more than Frank Sanchez for sure. So, I don't see any reason for them to be looking elsewhere rather than facing Andy Ruiz than it being the risk reward isn't favorable in their eyes. Yeah. I think Shelley Finkel, look, they might be 65 or 70% confident that Wilder beats Ruiz, but there's a sizable amount of doubt in their mind as far as I'm concerned in terms of the risk that Ruiz presents. So that's my take on it. Give me your take in the comments below. I'm sure there are going to be people disagreeing because knockouts cause amnesia. They look at Deontay Wilder flattening Robert Helenius and he's going to do the same to Ruiz. Well, lots of guys have managed to take that Deontay Wilder right hand without getting flattened it around. You look at Tyson Fury. He managed to take that Wilder right hand many times and get up off the canvas. Does Tyson Fury have so much of a better chin than Andy Ruiz? Does Fury have this granite jaw? No. And he managed to take the shot and get off the floor. Well, Andy Ruiz can't do that. He's just going to get iced as soon as he gets hit. I mean, look, maybe he will, but I can only go off what I've seen. And what I've seen is that Andy Ruiz has got a pretty good chin. Good powers of recovery. I mean, when he got decked by AJ in that third round, he got right back up on his feet. He wasn't wobbling around. He managed to tuck up and drop AJ within seconds. So we talk about Tyson Fury's powers of recovery. How about Andy Ruiz's powers of recovery? Did that not demonstrate them right there? I mean, go look at his last fight against Luis Ortiz. Ortiz caught him. Was it the second round where he dropped Ortiz and Ortiz came back at him when Ruiz went for the finish? Ruiz was caught flush as anything by Luis Ortiz's left hand several times. Didn't go down, didn't come close to going down. So yeah, no, he got dropped by Areola. He says he was weakened in that fight. Lack of calories and losing a load of weight. Okay. But against Luis Ortiz, there was no sign of fragility in terms of punch resistance. He showed a very good chin. He took Luis Ortiz's shots much better than Deontay Wilder did in the first fight Wilder had with Ortiz. Wilder was wobbling. He was seriously wobbling. You didn't see Andy Ruiz wobbling like that, and he took the shots more flush than Deontay Wilder did. Now, obviously, people are going to say, well, yeah, the fact he's getting caught flush is a very bad sign against Deontay Wilder because Wilder's going to catch him flush too. Well, Wilder is not as skilled a counterpuncher as Luis Ortiz. Don't get it twisted. Wilder can counter you with that right hand. He likes to walk you onto that shot. He's knocked a lot of guys out walking them onto the right hand. So he does have some skill in landing that punch. But I don't think he's as skilled at landing his right hand as Ortiz is landing his left hand. And, Ortiz is a guy who will stay in the pocket with you in order to land that left hand. Whereas Wilder doesn't like to do that. Yeah, he has fought in the pocket with guys, but generally he likes to keep everything all the way on the outside. He doesn't like to be in the pocket. And when Wilder's all the way on the outside, Ruiz is going to be in a defensive posture. He's not going to start winging shots from long range, is he? He's going to have his hand up to block the right hand. And when Wilder does let go with a shot, Ruiz is going to try and punch with him. That's the way Ruiz fights. So, look, I'm not saying Andy Ruiz beats Deontay Wilder, by the way. I just don't think that it's the foregone conclusion that so many other people do. I think that Ruiz has the skills to be very competitive against Deontay Wilder. Very competitive. And potentially win the bout. Potentially. Would I favor Deontay Wilder against Andy Ruiz? Perhaps. But it wouldn't at all shock me. Let me just put it this way. If Andy Ruiz beat Wilder, that wouldn't shock me whatsoever. I would not be sat there like, oh my God, Ruiz won. No, come on. Ruiz is a skilled fighter, a very good counterpuncher. We talk about Wilder countering with the right hand. Ruiz is very good at countering. Ruiz is one of the best counterpunchers in the heavyweight division. So we'll see how Wilder copes with that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Team Wilder just seeming to want to fight anyone but Andy Ruiz at this juncture. Don't you find that odd? If Wilder's team are as confident that he wipes out Ruiz as most of you lot are, then why are they looking to go in a different direction? Even though they can't get the AJ fight, they can't get Usyk right now, they can't get all these other guys. Surely Ruiz is the next biggest payday, but they don't seem to want to take it. They seem to want to exhaust every other option before they look at Andy Ruiz. What's that all about? Let me know.